Hey YouTube, today we take a look back at 2019, my journey in the music world and YouTube world and all that fun stuff. Stay tuned. Well, it's been another crazy year. 2018 was kind of my reintroduction to music, let's say, after being a musician and playing bass in a band and touring and everything for about 25 years of my life. And in 2007, when that band broke up, I was like, you know, I'm going to take a break and focus on other things. And I completely got out of music. And, you know, I think it was a good thing at that point to take a break. And after so many years of doing it, it's nice to have a refresh and try other things. And I did, and I got into photography and videography, which is what I do for a living now. I was in web design and networking before that. So around 2010, I transitioned over my career, total transition, and that's what I do now, and I love it. And it's very cool that, you know, being on YouTube and doing some of this stuff, I can leverage a lot of that skill set to do some of these projects. So very cool. But getting back into music was something that I wasn't sure when that was going to happen, if it was going to happen, or what was going to, you know, I've always loved music and loved playing in bands and loved writing. So in 2018, I started to, well, late 2017, I started getting that bug again. But I really wanted to focus on guitar, coming from the bass. I thought, you know, I want to write my own music. I want to play all my songs like I did when I was in Smear, the last band I was with. But I was a bass player, and I did have a guitar that I would play just to write music on, but I wasn't really doing any lead work or any of that stuff. And getting back into it in 2018, I figured I want to do this. So I got back into it, and it's been a journey ever since. Didn't really start doing YouTube videos. It was late 2018, and some of the first videos I was doing were more to get familiar with the recording process again. And then I would put out a cover song, let's say. So I would use some of the video editing skills and put that together with the recording of the audio, like recording all my tracks and so forth. But I would pick a cover song, whether it be an Iron Maiden song, a Kansas song, or whatever it was. And then I would do my own version of it and record it in the recording software, then put it out as a video. So that was kind of my getting into YouTube as far as a video creator. I've been on YouTube since, you know, very early on, but I've never done anything with it. I would post some of my band's videos or, you know, things I was doing in photography or whatever. Very little, never went live on it as far as, you know, having my own show and so forth. So 2019 was really the year that I wanted to start doing it for real, let's say, and really put a push behind it and get comfortable in front of the camera. And so I started my live show called Monday Night Ramble back in middle of February, I think. Around that time, I'd have to double check the date exactly. But I've been going pretty consistently every Monday at 7 o'clock Eastern time, doing my live show. It's an hour show. We cover some music news. We cover gear. I do some playing at the beginning of the show, and it's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it. I mean, the first couple of months of doing it, it was kind of a learning process and getting comfortable. Like I said, I'm always behind the camera and working the technology, and that's what I do for a living. So being in front of it and actually being the host and so forth is a very strange world for me. But I'm very happy that I got into it and I started doing it. So like I said, it's been since February, and I've done next week here, we're almost at Christmas, will be the 42nd episode of Monday Night Ramble. So I'm very, very happy that has gotten to where it's progressed to that level. It's been a fun year as far as YouTube goes. There's always controversy with things, and I watch other creators, and, you know, it's kind of a weird world to be in. So I tend to not focus too much on the politics of YouTube. And, you know, there's been the whole copyright gate where you couldn't play stuff, and I'm not really that concerned with that at this time. I'm not a monetized channel. I kind of do it for fun and like to create content for people to enjoy. I don't sell people stuff. I don't, worry about ads or any of that nature. So if I play a song on my show, I'm doing a cover version of something, I do get a copyright claim on it, and I can't monetize it, which again, I don't focus on that part of the world with that. I mean, someday if I ever, get to a point where the channel really expands and gets bigger, and I want to start to do this more as a business, I understand that. So I think at that point you have to adjust and do things differently if you're wanting to make some sort of income for your work that you're putting out there. Right now, that's not my focus, and so you're not going to really see anything like that on my channel at this point. But I do appreciate the support you guys give me. Every Monday night we've got, a bunch of people jumping in. We have a great interaction. I've gotten some great responses on some of the videos that I've done in the last couple of weeks, where I've done a couple of reviews for guitars and some gear. So I really appreciate that. So it's been a very interesting year. What's coming up in 2020? Well, I've got some ideas of maybe doing a few little different things, but keep the train going with some of the live shows, keeping Monday Night Ramble going and building that and growing it even more, finding some new stuff that we can do on the show to make it more interactive even. So I'm excited to do that. It's a lot of work, this stuff. I'm not going to lie. I think some people think it's you just plug in a camera and off you go, and you can do that. I mean, I've seen people do that and they've had success doing it. But it depends on your personality and on how you are when you're creating and how complex you make things. And I tend to be more on that complex side for some reason. My brain works that way. I want to throw everything in there and figure it out, whether or not it works or, I think, people are afraid of failing sometimes, so they stick to something very simple and they don't deviate from that. I get that, but I think if you don't push the boundaries a little bit and try a bunch of stuff that you might not be as comfortable with, and yeah, you're going to fail. That's fine. I've failed many times, but I've learned from those failures, and it's really, really helped me grow as a creator, in my profession, whether it's personal or what I do for work, everything, it all helps because you learn from that experience. And then the next time you get better at it and you do it differently and you find out what works and what doesn't. So don't be afraid, to push the limits sometimes. I know it can be, you can be intimidated by some of this technology and throwing yourself into a situation you're not always comfortable with. But sometimes that's the best thing you can do because you really find out what works for you and what you're made of, actually. So now that I've rambled on for whatever it was, 10 minutes or so, I want to thank everybody for giving me the great support you have in 2019. I hope that 2020 is just as good and better as we grow together, the channel, and that I can provide some great content. I am going to NAMM in January, so that's going to be very exciting for me. That I went to NAMM this summer. That was a huge thing for me to attend in Nashville, and did create some content while I was there. Even though I wasn't really focused to be there for that purpose, I was there for work and checking out audio technologies and so forth. But I was able to really experience Nashville, and it was awesome. So I'm looking forward to going to the January show in Anaheim. That'll be the first time for me to be in California. So, you got to put yourself out there, and you got to just sometimes try stuff and see, it might make some cool friends and some contacts and all this stuff. It adds up at the end of the day, and it's part of, what you're doing and part of the strategy moving forward. So that's one show that I'll be attending. And, in April, I go to a big video centric type of broadcasting show, which is called NAB, and that takes place in Vegas. So that's my other big show that I attend every year, and that'll be mid-April. So when I go there, I get a lot of information for streamers and for people that create content. Last year was all around the big copyright stuff that was happening on YouTube, and I was able to attend sessions where the lawyers and people from YouTube were there to give us some updates on what was going on and how things were going to change moving forward. So I was able to provide some of that information firsthand. So I'm looking forward to 2020. And, I think that, as long as you keep working at whatever it is that you're into and you enjoy doing it, I think that's the key. If you enjoy doing it, I don't do this for the money. I don't do this for any other reason than I want to learn. I want to grow, and I want to just, creating to me is part of who I am. And when I'm creating something at the end of the day that I can see, okay, I've produced this photo or this video or whatever, I feel good about it. Whether or not it's good or not, that's totally subjective as far as the viewers go. But for me personally, how I feel from creating in general and what I put out there, I try to do the best I can. And everybody's an individual. You do you. Don't copy somebody else, and don't try to be something that you're not. That would be my message to you in 2020. Let's put it that way. Be yourself, and as long as you're having fun doing whatever it is that you're into, then you're golden at that point. So again, thank you very much for watching the videos, the content, participating in the live streams. Subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. I really appreciate your subscription, and I work hard at trying to provide content and value for your folks as much as I can, and take your feedback in your comments and so forth. And if there's anything I can grow and learn from those, I always do. So it's all good. Till next time, have a great Christmas. Have a great New Year's. We'll see you in early 2020. It's going to be an interesting year. Let's put it that way. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you and your family have a great holiday season, and that you're all well, and you're not running into any craziness that is unnecessary, let's say, in life. Stay positive, and we'll catch you at the next video. All right? Take care, folks.
Might not be no crossroad, but it's sure enough for